It has wheels, but it runs.
Why are you running?
Alright, the new Scarlet and Violet trailer has just come out and it looks amazing. And I'm going to go through 20 things that I think that you may have missed within the trailer. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, let's get you caught up. Now that we've all caught up, let's have a look at some of these things you might have missed. And if I've missed any and you think there might be some more, make sure you type it down in the comments below so I can check it out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. All right, let's get into it. In one of the opening scenes of the trailer, we're introduced to the new Wooper, the Paldean Wooper. First of all, pooper. Now, you may notice that the sides of its head are different to the original Wooper, and this could be a reference to a few things. One, they look like bones, and we know that bones are synonymous with cavemen, and seeing as Scarlet and Violet has a running theme of the past and the future, it makes sense to link these prehistoric-looking Pokemon with bones on the sides of their head, like cavemen. Alternatively, they look like crossbones on the side of the Wooper skull, which is like the symbol for poison, which we now know is one of the types of the Paldean Wooper. Also, fun fact, Paldean Wooper is the first poison and ground type Pokemon since Nidoking and Nidoqueen all the way back in Gen 1. When we are introduced to the school, we also get a glimpse into a number of character customization options available in Scarlet and Violet. All of these characters have similar ensembles such as color schemes, shirt and tie, but with different accessories such as jackets, vests, suspenders, shorts with long socks, boots, hats and glasses. We can also see a range of hairstyles, eye colors and facial shapes. When we are introduced to Koraidon and Miraidon, we see the main characters in basic clothing, so we can assume that we see these legendary Pokemon in the early stages of the game. Now, we know the term ride on is in both of the Pokemon's names, and that is exactly what we do. We ride on these Pokemon. Now, we know that these legendary Pokemon can be flown, but they are not flying type Pokemon, and as we can see, they don't flap their wings. All we can do is glide with these, so this might be similar to Hisuian Bravery in Pokemon Legends Arceus, where we can't fly up and down as we like, we can only glide from a high place. Now, in this short clip here, we can see Go-Goat finally making a return to Pokemon games, but we can also see some interesting structures in the background. We can see this white Pokeball symbol here, which is probably leading to a Pokemon Center or the like, but we can also see these crossed flags here in the background. So this is something interesting that we can only just see and only for a couple of seconds. This could possibly have something to do with racing, which has been hinted at in the game a couple of times, but this could also be some kind of battle or some kind of mission instead. Speaking of the Pokemon Centers, here we have a look here of something that looks kind of like a gas station. Now we can see three distinct parts of this. We can see a blue, red, and green section. So probably likely somewhere to heal up, somewhere like a Pokemart that we can buy items, and probably an online play section as well. Now on the right hand side, we can see a yellow Pokeball imprinted on the ground, and this is probably where we would have multiplayer options or where other players can join us into our adventure. When we are first introduced to the schools, we can see the first side being the orange side with an apple or an applin in the logo, and then we see the purple side with a grape on the emblem. Now these, excuse my terrible Spanish, are called the Naranja and Uva School, which literally translate to orange and grape. Why in the world would they have an apple on the emblem for a school called the Orange School? Okay, maybe it is an orange and not an apple, but come on, that looks like an apple, doesn't it? Speaking of symbols and signs, we can also see the Meowth on this LED symbol here, and it says Meow. That's kind of cool. Now, when we're introduced to the Pokemon, for some reason, this Pineco is exceptionally detailed. Now, we don't usually see detail like this in a Pokemon game, especially in the trailer, but this Pineco has got a lot of detail. That's pretty cool too. Okay, quick break just to remind you to subscribe if you haven't yet, but also to make sure you check me out twitch.tv/MurderFear4, because when the game comes out, I'm going to be playing a lot of it, and you don't want to miss out on that content. Check out all this great stuff that you've been missing out on. That is a lose. That's the wrong button. I pushed the wrong button. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. The link is down in the bio, and now that you've done that, let's go back to it. Now, riding up to this area here that kind of looks like a fort, we can see the flags have a star symbol, and we see this star symbol show up a few times throughout the video, and it also looks like there's a lightning bolt within the star. Now, because this looks like a fort, and I'm going to have a wild guess here that this is some kind of enemy team, so think of a Team Rocket hideout kind of situation, and I'm going to think these are the bad guys of this game, so keep your eye out for that star symbol with the lightning bolt in it. Now, I don't know what's going on with this car here, but you can see within it, there's that star symbol that I was talking about on that flag with that lightning bolt. So this may be some kind of getaway car or some kind of automobile of some kind for the bad guys, but I think this is going to play an important part of the story. Looking at this as well, we can also see this structure in the background, which also shows up a few times throughout the video, which looks like some kind of vending machine or maybe something portable that we can use to either access Pokemon, or maybe we can buy some items along the way without having to go to one of those gas station looking areas. Now, when we're introduced to our favorite starters, we can see that they are following us in the game. So there's going to have an overworld follower, and we can see they're actually quite tiny compared to the trainer as well. Now, something that I thought was really cool within the trailer is this Noibat coming up now. This Noibat is evolving, but it's different to a normal evolution scene. This scene is happening in the overworld, so it's sort of happening in real time, and there's not a separate evolution screen with nothing in the background. This is happening in the overworld during gameplay, it seems. So it'll be interesting to see how that works in the game. Now, after the trailer, we get to see some more explanation into the video, and we're introduced to the legendary Pokemon. We can see this scene here where we're riding on each of the new legendaries. But what I noticed about this is that there is a cave, but it's in a higher area of ground. So that makes it something that it would seem like you can't access early in the game, but maybe as you level up your Pokemon or as you explore further into the game, and we know that we can climb on our legendary Pokemon, we can climb up to this cave. So this might be something that we might have to explore later on in the game and come back to areas that we could not access when we first started. You know, similar to Legends Arceus, where we were able to have Sneasler and then we could access areas that we couldn't before. This may also be similar with swimming, like we see in normal main series games where you have to go back and you can surf across areas that you wouldn't normally be able to access, so you need to go back with the ability to surf or to be able to swim to access those extra areas. Now, early in the first trailer, we were able to see an autumn form Sawsbuck, and now we can see the summer form Sawsbuck, which is featured here. So it's interesting to think that maybe there are different biomes with different areas, or maybe there are different seasons. I'm more likely thinking that there's different biomes, but different seasons would also be a cool addition as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if we can see the other two forms of Sawsbuck later on in the game as well. Now, I am in love with the new Pokedex and how it looks like a bookshelf, but something I noticed here, we can see that Lechonk was just registered, and it is the same color and design as Sprigatito, so you would think that those are the caught Pokemon that this person owns, but that shows that Quaxly is seen and is not registered into the Pokedex. So you would think if there's some kind of rival that the main character has, for some reason it shows Quaxly when we have picked Sprigatito, so it's not picking what is super effective against us, it's actually picking what is weak to us. So maybe the rival that we're playing against is something like Hop and doesn't know about type advantages, but that is yet to be seen. That is just an interesting thing I noticed. Now, this guy literally only shows for 13 frames of the entire trailer, but I want to have a look at the vest that he's wearing because we could have a guess at some of these Pokemon. There's a Gyarados and there's a Miraidon there, but the top two Pokemon are a little bit more confusing. I think that's a Dragonite and I think that's a Kangaskhan, but they could be something else, especially that maybe Kangaskhan looking form. And I've seen a few people discussing that this could potentially be a new Pokemon, maybe some kind of Tauros variant, as Paldea is in Spain. So a new Tauros evolution line or a new baby Tauros could be a possibility, and it wouldn't seem too far-fetched. But for only a couple of frames with such an interesting looking vest, I thought this was worth mentioning if you want to have a closer look yourself. According to Cerebi, there are 181 known Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet so far, but only 10 of these 181 Pokemon are new Gen 9 Pokemon. Now let me know, how many of those things did you notice already and how many of those were new? Make sure you subscribe to the channel for lots more Scarlet and Violet content coming up, and of course, check out some of these videos too. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one.